doing? Again?
Again? I mean,
It's Dominic.
it's not that often, but this is Eric.
It's twice a week. It's more often than it isn't, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just the placement throughout the week is changing. Even though it's supposed to be Wednesday and Saturday, today is definitely Thursday. And
We're grown men. We do things.
that's right. It's not a problem, honestly. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about SmackDown. We're going to talk about 205 Live. And we're going to talk about what's going to be in between that and the preview stuff. Oh, we're going to talk about the Mixed Match challenge, not only teams, but the brackets that they've released, announced, however you want to put it. And then we're going to preview...
be aware of.
We're going to preview Ring of Honor and NXT. NXT is going to be, as much as I know, happen, because I actually haven't watched it yet. Going to watch it probably tonight after the show, or tomorrow. And Ring of Honor, I already watched, but I'll just skim my notes to give a preview of the card. It was good. So before we get into that, quick dramatic things. I had a Twitter interaction with Will Ospreay a few days ago.
Oh, boy.
I did the same thing I did last episode. I did the one before that where I said we're going to get something and then I didn't. It was in regards to Rocky Romero and office involvement having to do with talent. And I just basically, it had to do with the Jericho deal. I thought it was really cool and interesting that Jericho made a point to say that Rocky and Tiger Tori and Gato or Jado and Gato, I'm sure I'm saying somebody's name wrong, but point being, all those guys flew out to New York to meet with Jericho. But not only is that cool in the way, like, oh, wow, they handle that deal, like, with respect, I didn't know that those four specific guys were all involved. Obviously, I knew Gato did the booking, and Tiger Tori is, like, famed for being involved, but I just think when you go into the show with the knowledge of everyone's involved, it's like the guy who's the manager in the first match, who's been a wrestler in the first match the past couple of years and wrestles in other promotions, is involved backstage. The manager of the world champion does the booking, and it's not a shitty Kevin Nash type situation.
Yeah.
One of the main referees is involved in the booking and backstage, and it's not a controversy. I just think that's awesome and speaks volumes about.
It's kind of like like, you know, DIY bands in a way. You know, like everyone has their part. I think it's just done. It's done in a really good way. That's really more of what I'm saying. It's not a conflict of interest, which you would kind of expect it to be. Well, yeah, and more so, it you know it. I don't want to say, oh, you know it's going to be good but you know, when you have people within that do deal with this business every day type thing in a more head-on way, it's gonna, you know, benefit them all.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it gives them more of like a personalized touch, because as much as Vince McMahon is the most like wrestling knower that there can be, or, you know, knows the business better than anybody, he still never did the thing he kind of had always wanted to do and been a wrestler. So I just think, I don't know, just think it's interesting. Not even
exactly.
Better,
you have like a mixed a group of like workers and, you know, officials. It sounds like that would be pretty good on the checks and balances situation, at least business wise.
Yeah, definitely. At least just from speculation standpoint. At least.
And that's just cool.
I really just wanted to cover that because we left it behind. Don't want to keep that trend going. On that same note, going to get the Will Ospreay story out, and then we'll get the TV review going. But so Twitter had a moment, like a news story, whatever, announcing like Will and Pete Dunne will be wrestling, and it's the first time WWE champion, IWGP champion are wrestling since Muta and Hulk Hogan. So it's like we're talking like those two guys weren't alive when that match happened. That's something Ospreay said. And point being, reading it in my Uber or Lyft or whatever I was in, coming home from work, and like just not fully paying attention, it said in the cover page for the story or whatever, obviously that Pete Dunne is WWE's UK's champion, and Will Ospreay is the first ever British IWGP champion. I just like, in my skimming through a quick reading or whatever, for some reason thought that it said he became the first IWGP champion at Wrestle Kingdom, like with his most recent win, or just like he just became the first. And I just thought it was so obviously stupid because he just beat a British guy, and not even in, you know, it's a Fatal 4-Way match, but he beat Marty. So anyways, I didn't forget about the fact that when Will won it in August or whenever that was, September, October, I can't remember, that he was the first champion. I just had like a brain fart or whatever. And point being, the wrestling internet came after me with fury, letting me know I was stupid. Ospreay tweeted at me and said, I won it first, ... Sorry, I skipped over the fact. I tweeted this story page and said this info is incorrect or some stupid shit, because I really just read this fast and thought like, oh man, like, you know, I should say this if I'm right about it. And man, I was not.
Were you just wrong?
So all these people said shit to me, and I took it gracefully, but I think Ospreay just threw me a sympathy bone, because I said to one kid at some point, like, I get it now, I'm just I get it, I misread, and then the next guy said something like, well, if he's trying to be technically accurate, aren't you the first ever two-time? And I literally just said, no, dude, like, I'm dumb. I just didn't want Ospreay to get the impression that I was trying to like further my argument. And point being, he wound up like tweeting at me and saying like he was Captain Dumbass or something. And I said something stupid about we should tag and be the Dumb Bucks or something like that. So anyways, it was interesting, and it was like slightly dramatic, and I just thought it's not the kind of thing I shouldn't talk about on this kind of show. So
nothing like looking like a giant dumbass in front of someone you watch weekly.
Yep. Sounds
and thoroughly enjoy at that too.
It's a good footnote for me, in general.
I mean,
like, that represents me well. It is what it is. I thought it was funny, and like I said, even though it was a super random story, it was the kind of story I felt would have been weird to not mention on this. But anyways, Raw this week. Before we get into it, what did you think? Do you think it was good?
Honestly, I think Raw was the better of the duo this week. But that's just, I think, because of the content.
That's just what he thinks, because of the content.
Because of the content.
I'm going to save what I think for the end. I just wanted to trick you into telling me what you thought now.
Nah.
I thought it was good. But anyways, we'll get into specifics. It's Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who's coming out? No owner, no leash, but a large dog.
Big old
dog.
Don't worry, he's got his papers. He got his chip. He's
got it in his. He's been given the proper medication shots. Anyways, large mix of booze. Cheers, more booze in my opinion. And this is the Hulu
it sounded
version.
like more booze.
This is the Hulu version, which you know they added, so it still sounded like more booze. I don't know.
Live, it definitely was some booze.
There was a lot of booze out there in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
He does a promo about how he beat Joe last week. Not necessarily because he's better than him in the ring, but because he had to make the statement that no one can mess with his brethren in the Shield and get away with it. I thought that was cool, actually, that the writing gave the nod to Joe's ability in ring. And it didn't make Roman look weak when he said it. So
and more so,
I thought that was like a humbling statement.
You know, it wasn't I won because it's my yard and woof woof. It was more of there was a motive. It made him a little more well-rounded as a character to me.
So here comes Jason Jordan, and I won't even get... He does some promo stuff that's good, but it's just really not worth it stopping and staring at, because here comes Seth Rollins. And there's... You know, who's coming out of the fucking box next?
Yep.
Even though it's good. It does get good. But just making the point, at this point, with the randomness that there is to Jordan and Rollins, there was some skepticism on my end at this point in the segment. I'm like, where's this going? But Jordan starts buttering the two guys up, saying that three of them are not the new Shield, but they are that they run the show. I was watching this with Megan at this point. She said this guy's so annoying, so I guess he's doing a really good job.
Honestly, yeah. On the annoying front, he is killing, and even more so, he's killing it with that character at least.
Yeah, no. I like Jason Jordan. Like I said, I just thought I didn't know where this was going.
My only pick more so is just is the continuing to do the same thing. He comes out, he does something. Seth comes out, corrects him. It kind of feels repetitive. Even though it's definitely
it's built into something.
Yeah,
that's the shtick right now. So, let's see. Megan says he's annoying. I thought it was funny. Okay, Rain says he's the guy. I'm still not buying it myself, but what do you do? Balor Club.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just some more. WWE really hasn't even made you feel that way either. Even though,
Yeah, I don't. They're sneaking it up on you, buddy. Like
fatal
diseases.
They're not sneaking anything on me, but I'm surprised they're not being more direct and aggressive as they normally would be with him.
They will be. We will see. But this was good. Balor Club comes out right as Jason Jordan says, "We may be the strongest 3-man group in all of WWE."
Perfect.
Very cool.
Perfect timing.
Michael Cole makes a point to say recently reunited, so this is a thing. I got goosebumps when they came out again. It was great. Finn had some dad jokes about Jason Jordan. That was good stuff. Said that he was something before Jason Jordan even knew who his daddy was. What did he say?
He knew Gallows and Anderson. Yeah, he's been teaming with Gallows and Anderson long before he knew who his dad was. And apparently WWE did like a thing on them.
I know.
They
said it on. It's on the network, and I have to go check it out. I haven't had the time to. I'll probably do that tonight too. But anyways, I really was getting chills from the confidence these guys are. They're starting to like glow with their confidence, and it's. Ooh,
I mean,
awesome.
when you put together something that clearly works, you know what I mean.
Carl on the mic, the amount that he was in the segment is fantastic.
He's too good.
He's so good. God damn it. Jason Jordan continued to kill it once these guys came out. Kurt comes out, and holy shit, man, so many people are out.
Yeah, at this point, the entire roster is gonna come through those curtains. It's
a good amount of talking, but it's not too long, and obviously it's building to. I should say it's building at this point. It's built to what became obvious when Balor Club came out, 6-man tag for the main event, and that's cool. I thought that was great.
Oh, yeah.
So we go to commercial, come back, and they're showing the greatest TV segment in the history of Raw, Vince McMahon in the hospital.
Oh yeah,
and that's a good time.
Just looking back on that, it's good stuff.
It's just so good. That bedpan shot is unbelievable. Structure-wise, I'm sure when I'm off, just let me know what I missed, but I'm going to go with what I know from Hulu. Woken Matt Hardy and Kurt Hawkins. Is that where we are?
No. Wow, they cut that.
Oh, what do you got?
My first live for the first match was Sasha Bailey versus Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Must not have been too great if they cut it.
Honestly, it wasn't anything to, write home about. So honestly,
that makes so much sense though, because I'm sorry, I'm only interrupting you real quick because I had a note after this match that we were like 45 minutes in, and I was like, "Yo, there is no wrestling on the show.
Yeah,
like, what is happening?"
It was a decent.
Anyways,
it was decent. It wasn't anything, like I said, it wasn't anything crazy. But Sasha and Bailey come out with a win. It was cool to see Sonya and Mandy be a team. Obviously, Paige being, still on the side for just a hair, I would assume. Getting back to 100%.
She wasn't there. Is that what you're saying?
No, she was there with them.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, she was there with them, but obviously not wrestling. I'm thinking they just might be giving her a little time to, recuperate.
Yeah, and I think just the other girls need to work too.
And that's what honestly I took from it was, it's giving them they're going at Sasha and Bailey. That's pretty top talent for two people just getting into the main roster. It was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, but who else would they? I'm not even trying to.
Very true. Raw is kind of. I'm gonna say lacking,
but still, I'm not disagreeing with the sentiment of what you're saying. That's cool. Okay, so if it wasn't anything special, anything from there, or are we where we are?
No, Sasha and Bailey come out with a win, obviously, and that's about that. The only thing in between was just a package on the Kane and Brock thing from last week.
Yeah, no, I skipped that. We
don't
talk about that.
And,
so Matt Hardy and Kurt Hawkins. Matt has new music. Not crazy about his talking in the song. Maybe we'll come to like it more.
Really?
Overall, I'm just glad that they're doing with it.
I kind of enjoyed it just because it's a little different.
What do you mean?
The talking. Yeah.
Yeah, but different from what? What do you mean? I don't know.
Like other people's like entrances and stuff like that. More so, he's not. It's not like he's coming out with a mic and doing it. It's just kind of.
There. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know that it needs it. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not against it. Like I said, I like it. If you like it, maybe this will be your Bludgeon Brothers to me.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't hate it. I just thought like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then the rest of the song I think is pretty cool. It's like Daniel Bryan-esque, and it's like triumphant sound.
Yeah, like kind of Christian-y, very epic.
Definitely knew Matt was winning coming in, but some of the in-ring stuff was obviously purposefully different and specific to the new character. He bit Kurt Hawkins' hand. He had his hands taped differently himself. He hit that buckle German suplex, which was really great. The side effect has always been a great move and is always a great move. Matt Hardy hits it awesomely. He's just made that move so cool. Good for him, Good to see them believe in him, push him, and it's a pretty quick match.
Yeah, very quick.
Lights go out, come back on. Bray is there. Matt turns around smiling at first, then he gets pretty straight-faced, which I thought maybe they were going to get physical, but then it turns into basically like a laughing interaction. They're just like maniacally laughing. And it actually, for what it was and for modern day and WWE television, it was good. It was more than in the fact that it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But like I said, I kind of got the vibe when he first got straight faced, like, oh shit, he's about to hit him and whatever. I guess same thing about the song.
It's kind of like the lack of altercation. I guess it's good because it's building and makes you want it more and be more exciting when it does happen. But also, I need a little more than them laughing at each other every other week.
Yeah, and I guess really my criticism can be summed up with, like, how did this end live? Like, okay, Bray took us to commercial.
I think about that sometimes, all the time.
I think about that sometimes, yeah, with certain things. But I'm saying with this specific thing, if the point was build the story, don't let them touch yet.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? Did the lights just go out again and Bray vanished, and when they came back on? I guess that's
probably the gist.
I just thought it was strange.
Yeah, because they can't laugh at each other and just, all right, okay, well, I'll see you later.
During this match, Booker T makes a point to say there's when they're talking about how Matt's gone off the deep end, he says there's a point where everyone's switch just turns off, and I have a feeling his switch has been turned off for some time now.
Oh yeah.
So. I just wanted to get that.
That's our weekly attack of the commentary. We'll continue always and forever.
Well, this is the 6th episode, and I think he's been mentioned in at least 5 of them. So he is the 5-time champion, and
5-time.
Keep it up that way. Come back from commercial on my end, and Elias is there.
Oh yes, he is.
Keeping the WWE Walk with Elias thing going. That's good. He's definitely one of the things I look forward to most on Raw each week at this point. So,
which is really, well, I mean, I guess for me it's kind of opposite because I despised the beginning parts of it, but now
you didn't watch him in NXT, right?
Not that much. I caught him, but not enough to really give a good feel for.
Gotcha.
But just the beginning stages of it, it honestly now with more so the aligning with the Miz Taraj and then, being the whole, Walk with Elias thing, it's gotten better. He's more rounded, and seeing him in ring with higher talent definitely rounded that off for me.
I think in ring, you're right. I think everything else you're just coming around to because it really
probably
the gimmick thing is worked from the beginning. I don't think it's really anything he's had to figure out other than maybe that he's been restricted. Like I said, from listening to that podcast with him and Stone Cold, he said they more of like wanted to take more of the gimmicky part of it away from him when he came out to Raw and wanted to make it more of just about like him as a person. So anyways, that's not the point, but I just think that he's done a good job getting himself over. And if anything, you're a testament to that if you weren't crazy about him before. So he's got 3 like movie Hollywood style type chairs around him. So pretty obvious it's going to be segue into the Miz thing. I get what you're saying, and I'm not even disagreeing, but just to focus on it because you made a point to say you like it. I hope that the Miz Taraj alignment thing isn't like permanent. I don't think that's like necessary at all.
No, I just like the snotty kind of bad
right.
guys.
It establishes their heels. Like that's what's happening. They're getting along because they're heels. I totally am with you there. That's dope. I just don't. Another week of him like singing or playing some kind of them playing percussion with him or introduce. I don't think he needs to be doing that.
No, but unless
it's going to culminate like at the Rumble and then they're going to move on from there. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Like later too. Like if Miz ever needs a tag partner, he doesn't always have to be with someone from the Miz Taraj. I like that opportunity as well because
that's fine.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. It makes it a little better.
I don't want him to be with.
Yeah, they don't always. It doesn't have to be like a 4-piece thing.
Yeah. So he ends up. It's pretty obvious it's going to be the Miz, but what it ends up being is he sings a song he wrote for Memphis, and it ends with him welcoming back the Miz.
I like how he left too. after that.
Yeah, me too. And if anything, that furthers my point. I just don't want him to be. He doesn't need to be involved in what the Miz is doing, directly at least. So, crowd is chanting "Welcome back." It's got to be a higher point of one of Miz's returns. He's had, I don't want to say many, but a good amount.
He looked pretty good too.
He looked awesome. His hair looked cool, and I'm saying that specific thing because I've been critical of the way his hair was looking when it was growing out.
Yeah,
and then beyond that, when he first cut it for the Marine movie, I thought like, oh man, that doesn't look as good as like short-haired Miz could look. And right now, I think it's like he looks good.
From TV before he left and to now, I think he just has a better look. I think he can annoy you a little more because he's always had the, obviously movie star pretty boy look thing. I think it just looks better now.
Well, they're saying welcome back. Axel and Bo are overly sucking up to Miz, trying to give him watch, shoes, all that kind of that whole shtick. It was cool though. I liked it. Yeah. They say this past year was the best year of their careers. Excuse me, because of Miz and him elevating them. Miz says that literal thing at one point. He elevated the Intercontinental title. He elevated these superstars. I thought it was good, and it credits the fact that he can say those things and not have people watch and go, shut the fuck up, at least in the same way as maybe even just a year or two ago. So good for him. He unfortunately refers to himself as Superstar of the Year.
Yeah, I noticed that again.
When he said Daddy's home, I popped. Thought that was really good. Same for when he said he was letting Roman Reigns borrow his Intercontinental Championship. And when they gave him the close-up on his face for the rest of the promo, it was to challenge Roman and cap off with "You can believe that or believe it" or something like that. Some kind of play on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, would assume it was "believe that," but I wrote in my notes "believe it," so it's either my thing corrected it or I don't know. But anyways, he had some kind of spin on the "believe" line. So again, on the Hulu version, after the quick squash match, Matt Hardy, this is like 35 minutes or some shit of like talking. It's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And guess what? We go to a promo backstage with the Balor Club, which, don't get me wrong, winds up being fucking awesome.
So good, but also still talking.
Still like a lot, and that's correct. Timeline-wise, you can let me know that's correct?
No, that's exactly what happened.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so we go backstage for some more talking. This is good, though. Balor's saying we need to talk strategy about taking over this company, things like that. We need to focus on tonight. So it's like progressive for all things. It's establishing them as a team in the WWE, establishing that they're going to probably be pretty dominant on Raw soon, and also is focusing on them and building towards the main event, which, as I've been complimenting as of late, you need to do that with your television show. You need to have like a book type like structure of intro, whatever happens in the middle there. I can't remember the name right now, and then climax at the end.
You got that thing called. Got your first.
Yeah, that little mountain looking thing.
Yeah, we all
went
to school one time.
We don't have to tell you. You should know it. But
no, seriously, someone tell us so we know.
It's something with an E. Anyways, I'm just the word is escaping me right now. So this is really good. They even mentioned Tama Tonga and Fale by name. They're going over people they've thrown back with before, but they say tonight's not about throwing back. It's about throwing down with the boys from the Shield and Jordan. And Carl Anderson, or I'm sorry, Luke Gallows says one or some kind of comment or another about Anderson throwing back with like twins from a specific city in Japan. And Anderson makes a point to say, "You already know I have that smoking hot Asian wife." Luke Gallows overexcitedly says, "Oh yeah,
dude!" The internet smacks him has and says, gone crazy over out, that man. Pop.
Because that timing was.
Oh yeah, it's
really good.
It was
They're
just
really good.
yeah. I think their constant travel with each other and being obviously a team forever just has made that so much better. Their timing and just
Luke
banter
Gallows
with each other
funny.
is really good.
He's got like good comedic timing, so that was really good. Pretty much how the segment ended. They two sweeted, and then cut to Enzo returning from illness, making his normal entrance, but not much of a reaction from the crowd. He's cutting some kind of jokey promo about being in the hospital. Kind of actually looked like shit. It must have been because he was actually sick.
Yeah.
Says the closest thing Cedric is getting to gold was tagging with Goldust. I actually was into that line. Thought that was pretty smart.
He has a few of them every once in a while.
Yeah, no, he's definitely good at talking. There's no argument there.
Sometimes
so anyways,
he just
this leads to Enzo versus Cedric for the championship. This feels like it organically at least lost the steam it had coming in a couple weeks ago between the Rich Swann legality stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Gulak seeming like he was going to be some kind of focus or controversy and then kind of being removed. And then Cedric, I said last week when he got paired with Goldust, I wasn't sure if they were just moving on from there or what was happening. So, yeah, too many factors is right.
There's too much stuff changed, too many things happening. It was just it's piled on them, and then that 205 Live show, obviously not having direct involvement with it, but getting canceled and stuff like that. I just think they're really the whole 205 thing.
What are you talking about?
Their first live show I think they were gonna do got canceled.
Oh, I did not hear that. Yeah. I believe you, but I just hadn't come across
it was just I think the shit is just piling too much on them.
Well, okay, hold on, we'll get there. That was just kind of my as the match was starting. It was my note just because Cedric was hyped coming out, but I just thought like, man, this is Raw and this doesn't feel like a championship match right now. Yeah. So
no, that's exactly that's what I felt too.
I wrote maybe the performance will undo it. It didn't exactly, but it didn't exactly amount to the failure it seemed like it was going to be coming in. But anyways, we'll get there. Cole accidentally calls Enzo the challenger, quickly corrects himself. Nothing wrong with that. Just wanted to say I specifically liked him correcting himself. Nothing wrong with that, buddy. Everybody makes
sometimes
mistakes.
You got
to. Decent match. Enzo gets busted open. It is not from the kick that you told me it was from.
Yeah.
It's on the other side.
That's what it looked
face.
like. Yeah, that's what it looked like at first.
I don't know. It's from when he hit him or scratched him or something, but he bleeds quite a bit.
Surprisingly a lot, actually.
They sell it more off the handstand springboard kick thing that Cedric does, so that's great. Bleeding quite a bit. They're going to sell the angle that Enzo hurt his ankle off a dive to the outside by Cedric. Very clearly an angle. Dave Meltzer has said that on Twitter, and then I saw myself.
I fell for it.
Yeah, Eric thinks it's real. I don't think
it's real.
No,
not that I think it's real now. More so, it looked real at the time. Like, it looked like he tweaked his ankle, to me. Too
much mentioning if it wasn't planned of the doctor's presence. And more than anything, and really, I feel should have gave it away, is you come back from commercial, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
He's backstage getting checked
out. Come back from commercial, he's stitched up, and Nia is backstage with him, and I'm sorry, if he's hurt, they're not doing that.
But exactly.
He's trying to, especially because the sell of this segment was he's trying to tough guy his ankle injury in front of her, and when she walks away, after they have the interaction they have, flirtatious, whatever, he grabs his ankle and is like thriving in pain. So, we will see where that's going or what it's going to be, especially affecting the 205 Live tour. Canceled dates or not. We'll see. We'll see what that's going to end up meaning. I've got from that point Asuka in the locker room being approached by Alexa.
Yep.
Who is warning Asuka that Nia is going to do something to her for what Asuka said about Nia. I'm writing at this point. I don't need you to tell me now, but at this point in the show, I wrote, "Man, I feel out of the loop. I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about." Oh, well. So, we'll get to it later, what she's talking about, but I just kind of, I don't know, good in the way that what I commented earlier, you want people to tune into the show and be like, oh, I wonder what she's talking about, but like I said, I'm a heavy watcher, and I kind of got more the impression of, oh, shit, did I miss something with the way that was
think
introduced.
It just didn't play out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's all it was.
It's good writing, wasn't exactly played well, and that's going to come back around when we talk about Alexa later in the episode, because goddamn, that's some horrible acting. Anyways, coming from that point, Brock Lesnar, and I really like. No,
sir.
Okay, what do you have?
They just didn't want you to watch wrestling at all. You had The Bar versus Titus Worldwide.
Oh yeah, but they mentioned that. I have that written down later.
Okay.
They reference it, so I knew they cut it out, and it's because Titus Worldwide got the win. But go ahead, tell me what happened in that match. I wanted to ask you about it.
More. I mean, like I said, to me at least, there wasn't like that much to go on. It wasn't the best bar match, to be honest.
Maybe that's why it was cut out. How did they get the win at least?
Titus got like a surprise roll up pin.
Oh, okay, that's what I assumed.
So like it was obvious like they weren't supposed to get the win, but they did. Like I said, it was a very so-so match, but I did like that there was a lot more use of tag moves, which WWE hasn't been too on lately.
You mean not supposed to like the way that Breezango won on SmackDown? Like that's what you mean?
Yeah, something like okay. Like it was like it was more. It felt like a surprise. And my only other note was I'm not really sure what they're doing with Dana. Like, just seems.
Hey, everybody needs a job.
Yeah, no, that's what it feels like. It seems like they're like, hey, you need something to do, so here you go.
We'll see, I guess. I didn't see it myself, but that's just about what I assumed had happened and was going on. Then Brock, no?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, they're only cutting out individual segments at a time. It's not too bad. Brock Lesnar's coming out. Okay, I like the color scheme of his Memphis Suplex City shirt a lot.
Yeah, that was cool.
I know they basically do that with most places, but I just like this one in particular. I thought it looked good. Heyman got that fresh cut. Yeah, I guess.
First, not many times you could say that for Heyman.
Here we go. This is where I wrote that. Almost an hour into this fucking show and only 2 wrestling matches. But it turns out there had been 4 and I only seen 2. I guess that's a very good ratio because we're a little over.
It's not bad, but
actually seen those.
WWE telling you, more specifically a Hulu watcher, like, hey, you just don't need any of that.
Well, on that same note, Heyman is cutting a promo. First about the progression of wrestling as a product. And then it turns into this promo about old school championship match promotion and that relating to the Royal Rumble triple threat and how it's all basically like a conspiracy to get Brock Lesnar. He throws some terms out there in this promo, including title and wrestler. Thought that was pretty interesting, and it was an insane promo, especially for one of the shorter ones from Paul.
He just doesn't disappoint ever.
Yeah, no, and this one in particular was great. Turns out the reason it was shorter is Lesnar gets to the top of the ramp and Kane attacks him from behind. Brock fights back with some knees, some big strikes with his knees. It immediately spills backstage. Good stuff from these 2 very big dudes brawling backstage, joined by the even bigger dude, Braun, a second later. He seemingly actually kills Brock with that monitor case when he threw him over that thing and then went through the table.
Handling stuff like that throughout
it was probably
life. Dude,
empty.
That thing, it's definitely empty,
heavy.
But even empty, that thing's not light.
Yeah, no, that shit hurt, man. Even with Kane with the light box case, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
And so now here we go. Here we are at this point in television. I don't want to say history because it's not but wrestling television, pretty much history. My man goes over to the first seemingly looking like light case, road case, I guess you could call it. Opens it up, and he finds a fucking grappling hook. And he takes this grappling hook, and he looks at it, as we all do when we're making big decisions, and he goes, here we go. And
I know what to do with this.
On one try, he throws it up there. It swings around, locks on the line with the hook. He secures it easily, secures the bag, and then begins to attempt to pull this thing down. If you're decently watching, or watching close enough, you can see it's very obviously attached to some chains at the top, lowering. But still, it's the idea of what they're selling you here, especially
this man,
creatively.
First try, chucks a grappling hook like he uses it in everyday life.
Yeah, gets it up there, brings the house down. And I'm gonna go through this verbally as like the way that I believe they're selling it, and then we'll kind of pick it apart before we move on, just because I have a couple of different questions to raise or points to make or whatever you want to say. So it comes down on the 2 of them, and Heyman and like officials and people are at the door on the other side of the room screaming. Of course, Heyman selling the severity of the situation very much so, and Braun even hits them with the arm raised Braun yell after he does it.
Yep.
Thought that was great, and then he walked away. They're all checking on Brock and Kane and all that. So when this happens, the camera obviously cuts to a certain angle. You can't really see the guys. Is this a pre-taped segment, or is this something that they use camera manipulation for live? Is it only sort of pre-taped in terms of the fall? You know what I mean? These are several things that I thought, including the segment as a whole, could have just been done. That's how he got it first try. Could have just been done a while before the show.
Because at least with me, I know for in my head there is a good possibility of that he just can do that. Because somehow
Joe says he follows him on Instagram, and he's like a weapon.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
guy.
I believe for sure. Like,
I do, yeah.
It's very possible that he could just actually grappling.
But
live
television, you know,
still,
like live television.
But
I don't
wouldn't
know.
that? Nah, I guess promos are.
Either way, I'm into it. For the record, doesn't matter to me.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it's fucking sick. Doesn't matter to me either way. I just literally wondering if anyone wants to say they can, or wants to say they're able to, know one way or the other, or just for the one shot. Because I'm pretty sure on the one shot from the back corner when it's falling, I'm pretty sure you can't see Kane or Brock. So that I'm like fairly certain that shot is from a different time at least. But who knows? Either way, I really thought this was cool and creative and weird, and I think that that's what you should be doing, even if it doesn't work or works, kind of like this segment did. Because I'm sure there's some people who want to make fun of this or whatever, but I thought it was great. I thought it was cool. Could not believe he got it on the first try, especially if it's live.
I was still in awe throughout the whole situation. So
unbelievable. For me, I got Joe and Rhino next.
Yep.
Joe is injured post-Raw, at least going around the internet, so I kept an eye out for that in this match, but it didn't look apparent. I don't know. It could be an angle they're trying to sell. Could have been just something they need to take care of, maybe to make sure he's good before or in time for Mania. He did enter himself into the Rumble on this Raw, which we're going to get to, but I don't know, just something to talk about. Like I said, I wound up seeing on Twitter before I saw the recap of Raw that he was injured. So didn't catch in this match. Quick match, but it's very physical. Hope his injury doesn't affect his WrestleMania attendance, appearance, whatever.
That would suck.
I like that they've been using Slater and Rhino more. Jobbing or not, they're on TV, and lately...
Yeah, because they were gone for a little bit.
Well, and lately the squashes they're involved in, specifically Rhino with the bigger guys, especially because it makes sense with, the mat in terms of a physical matchup. But lately, they help progress bigger stories, and I don't know. I just think that's good for those guys, and as a viewer, I'd rather watch Rhino get beat real quick.
It definitely has like meaning to it, at least.
Yeah, I just would rather watch that than some of the other WWE style squash matches we've been shown in the last couple of years. So anyways, Joe wins with the Coquina Clutch. Rhino actually taps. Short promo in the ring post-match by Joe saying that Reigns' victory last week was actually, not a victory, but that it might as well have been a loss with how much it affected the length of his career. Just good recovery promos type stuff. Says he's going to finish that job one day, but he's moving on for right now. So that's cool with me in the way that I don't need to watch those guys wrestle all the time. Hopefully he really will come back to the Intercontinental title one day. I think he would do it really well as an IC champion. But anyways, he officially enters himself in the Rumble, and maybe some kind of special interest or a possible program with Cena on the horizon, because he says he's eliminating Cena first from the Royal Rumble, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that would be decent, and I'd watch it. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna not watch it, but more so, I'd be interested.
Dude, you'd be interested in Samoa Joe versus John Cena?
Well, I'm not
That'd
interested
be fucking
in a lot.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
It'll be great. I'm not always on top with a Cena match. That's all.
Yeah, all right, buddy. They've never wrestled each other before. That's one of the few things that you could say about any of the people in this company. I'm just saying, if and when that happens, clearly like they're kind of, or sort of clearly like they're trying to make it out to be, it's going to be a very big deal, especially if it happens at WrestleMania.
I'm saying I wouldn't normally be like excited for a Cena comeback. Just got to be right. That's one of the instances where it's right.
Yeah, I'm just saying the match is more than just interesting. The match is really, really cool.
Takes a lot for me to like John Cena, man.
Well, I feel like we liked the last thing he did.
More
like
so
he did
lately.
Something... No, but what did he do? What did he do before Roman Reigns?
Before
he came back to lose to somebody. Anyways,
was it AJ?
Whatever. I think so. That sounds about right. He was involved in. He lost to Bray earlier in the year in 2017.
Yeah.
Even though Bray didn't really have a run. I don't know. Anyways, just John Cena he has earned my respect, and I mean I've kind of liked him for a couple years now, but I just think him versus Joe is a big deal, a really, really big deal.
When he comes back, it has to be something good for me to be pumped on it. Sometimes
the same way it was a big deal when Owens got Cena right away, and the same way it was a huge deal when Styles has wrestled John Cena. Joe is like the last one that can still kind of equate to that, and it hasn't happened yet. So I really hope that happens.
I feel like they did have an altercation at one point, didn't they?
I don't think they did a program though.
No, they didn't do a full thing, but I know
feud.
they had like he came out, like I think John came out or something, and Joe happened to be in the ring, and like they might have said something to each other, and I think that might have been when John was on SmackDown the later time.
Yeah, but Joe was never on SmackDown.
Yeah, maybe not.
I know Joe's never been on SmackDown.
No, yeah. I don't know. I just remember there being an interaction.
I agree with you. That sounds familiar, but I don't know what it was. Anyways, I just think that'd be good for Joe's career and good for fans and for wrestling. So I hope it happens. And for my show, we go to Nia backstage. Does that sound right for you? So Alexa comes up to her, and this is one of the worst parts of the show. Really bad acting. Just bad.
It really
does come back around to explain that what Asuka said about Nia thing was just something Alexa was making up, like rumor style, to try and get Nia to go after Asuka. Did like the way that it was revealed in that she said, did you hear what she said about you? And Nia was like, what was it? And then she whispered in her ear, and she was like, oh my gosh, she said that? She said, yeah, and then she said something along the lines of, did she have her translator, or do you know Japanese?
Yeah,
because
she
Asuka doesn't speak English.
Which, that part kind of threw me off, because, yes, that's right, but also she just does speak,
No. Okay, whatever. That's a point to be made if that's the way you feel. I don't even disagree with that, but I'm saying that was the one sensible sliver of something in this whole segment.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least it was a payoff
something that did make sense, but seeing her on TV, it's not like she just speaks strictly Japanese.
I guess. I think that's looking too far into it, because I think that the whole point of mentioning that was to explain to anybody that might have been confused earlier in the show, like I was, that there was nothing actually said.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that was I thought that the whole time. It was just, she's obviously making something up. Yeah, it definitely wasn't good, and more so.
Well, it's good. It was good that you had enough insight to think that, because I just didn't follow it that way. I don't know why.
Just following Alexa, it just seemed like that's exactly what was going on. I'm gonna make some stuff up so my bigger partner comes and destroys you type deal. It just
that became apparent in this segment. But I'm just saying, like, through Raw and through interaction with
I could see
Asuka
how it just
earlier, you said that earlier in the show that it didn't play the right way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm asking now, how did you? Okay, you just said now that you knew throughout the show that it was gonna be that
That's what
way.
I felt like it at first, but I didn't know.
Okay, pal.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean at all. I thought the whole thing was shit, and while the intent was probably good, because I do agree with you that was the point, obviously, that she was just spreading a rumor. I just thought that this not only didn't play well, it just was bad. Yeah. Everything was bad.
No, I'm not trying to say it was good by any means.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. Your opinion on it has confused me, but that's not my point. My frustration with this is that this is bad. This was bad.
And for Alexa, this is definitely like a
low,
because she's been doing very good.
Exactly,
lately,
she's been dope
before this.
And this was just dumb. And I like her and Nia's thing, and I like Nia even. This was bad. It's not specific to even anyone involved or the content itself. It just was executed poorly and just bad. Did not like it. But we come out of it knowing that, what's it called? Miz is going to be teaming with Asuka for the Mixed Match Challenge. Obviously, like I said, we're going to announce the full teams in the brackets later, but I don't know how I feel about that. It's, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I it's different. I wouldn't have guessed it, but
yeah, definitely. It's I don't mind it, but the way they were portraying a lot of the teams, and more so her team, just didn't seem like that was the way it was going. It seemed like everything turned out different. So I don't know. I felt like I was built up. I felt like I was built up for exciting teams, and then given the second choice teams.
Or just at the very least, like you just said, like they changed their mind about stuff, whether there was even a reason or not.
And in my opinion, what they were building up was way cooler. Because like before, I think they were building Gold Dust, and it's like that's brilliant. Like them together, it just makes sense, and
it's low key enough that it doesn't have to affect like Asuka's situation.
Also, again, bringing that up because I was thinking about it before. How does she end something, and like I have to assume that her and Miz win because her losing is a loss.
Just sitting here, I literally just had that thought as you were saying. I was like, wow. Yeah.
I know I literally bring it up every time it comes to her being in a match, but again, it's a match. So
we'll get to it when we talk about the mixed match challenge.
That's
but
true.
I think it depends on the specific. If it happens after the Rumble and she's not winning the Rumble, then it doesn't matter, and maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, we go from that segment to Asuka making her entrance. Whatever jobber she was gonna face, you can see running away in the background because it turns out Nia is gonna attack her anyways. When Asuka's still doing her whole entrance and stuff, she's on the top rope doing her pose. Nia comes in and hits her with an electric chair drop. I like that it was quick and at the same time still was made to look effective because Nia is like bigger and more powerful. And just thought that was cool.
It confused me at first because the
yes.
person leaving confused it. I was like, what was that?
See, I missed the person as a whole, so I was confused, even more confused
after the
but
replays.
For different reasons, because I was like, who's Asuka supposed to even be wrestling at this point? But then, exactly.
I noticed that first, and then I was like, what was that? At first I thought it was Alexa running away, and I was like, why was she out there? And then it confused me, and then after the replays I realized.
But in the end, I'm glad they did that. Good attention to detail to show the person running away. So some Rumble card preview. They mentioned the bar loss on the Hulu version.
So weird.
Figured it was going to be some roll up screwy stuff. So anyways, we get to the main event. Balor Club doesn't get their entrance. Come back from the commercial, and the boys are too sweetened in the ring. Rollins comes out first, then Jordan, then Reigns. I thought maybe the order was specific to break up the pop between Rollins and Reigns. Maybe it just wasn't anything at all, just something I thought. Officially announced at this point as well that Miz and Reigns are going to have their Intercontinental title rematch on Raw 25 in a few weeks. Corey Graves drops a nice Giancarlo Yankees reference, but followed by the not-so-nice claim that Jason Jordan is better than Dean Ambrose. Obviously, actually true in terms of athleticism and in-ring strength and all that, but Dean Ambrose, or John Moxley, could professionally wrestle circles around Jason Jordan.
Absolutely.
And, anyways, just a strange thing other than maybe for heat's sake for Graves to say on TV. And maybe that was the point. Maybe it was to get people like us hot. But Carl and Seth start this match. Cole is stuttering through complimenting Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows' tag team accolades. He's having a hard time talking about it for some reason. He does mention the IWGP titles.
Very cool.
Double drive-by by the big dog to the Good Brothers. And Seth wiping out Finn on the outside to send it to commercial. And they keep up the consistency of Jordan being annoying to the Shield members, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it was one of my notes too. They're really doing good with the annoying kind of just tag along thing. Right.
Reigns makes his comeback on Gallows, even though he got hit with a really big boot. He still hits him with the Superman punch. Expected from Reigns, but kind of done in a good way. Makes both guys look good in this case. Carl gets tagged in. Roman tags in Seth. Just trying to make the point, there was a lot of tags in this match. Definitely a good thing because it's a 6-man tag, but just kind of confusing.
A lot of tags, especially for keeping out Jordan for a while. They really kept him out of the match for a good little while, and I liked it, but also it didn't really seem fair just because he has been doing so well, and in ring he's been doing so well, but they let it get to a point where he just didn't get in the ring forever. And I don't know. I would have liked to seen more Jordan in the match. They just kept him out a little too long.
Yeah, maybe it was to push the annoying aspect of it all.
Well, it was clear that that's what they were trying to do, but I would have enjoyed seeing him more just because, like I said, he has been doing so much better in ring that it would have been cool to see him a little more.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. He's been good enough that it's a good thing at the very least that you're anticipating to see him in the ring. So, there's some more move stuff. Roman Reigns gets Seth in. Gallows gets Anderson in. Seth has a series of moves against everybody in the club, including the flipping neck breaker, suicide dive, the sling blade off the ropes, and of course he hits the nice suplex it rolling into the Falcon Arrow spot. I love that thing. Yeah. Near fall for Carl after he hit the big spine buster on Seth. He's probably the last guy in WWE actually doing that move justice. So, and that's not a knock at Bobby Roode. I like when he does that move and that he does that move. Period.
That was like one of my big notes was he hit that, man, and it. I screamed.
Yeah, he nailed that thing, Arn Anderson style. That was great.
And they mentioned that too, that it was a very. They said something about another Anderson does that.
Right,
and they
right,
mention
something
Arn.
like that.
You get mentioned
And don't get me wrong,
Arn. That's big.
Bobby can hit it, and
Yeah.
I love Shelton Benjamin, but he did just nobody hits him like they used to, like
That's
2004 and earlier than that. They used to just like
and
the
even
back
more
body
so
drop,
when
they
Arn
used to
can
be like a
come
match
back,
essential.
like what was it, a month ago, and hit it flawlessly.
Yeah. Wait. Who is that? Who came back a month ago?
Arn. It was like
Arn. Oh yeah. On Dolph. Yeah, on Dolph in
Oh man,
Houston.
he hit that thing.
Or at Starrcade or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I like the way Carl did that. He gets Gallows in there. Gallows gets Finn in there. Again, just a lot of I'm just making the point as I was watching the match. A lot of tags. Seth gets Reigns in there while Jordan is accidentally distracting the ref, so the ref doesn't see the tag. Good Brothers hit Seth with Magic Killer. He's a still legal man. Roman then runs a train on the Good Brothers, which is kind of annoying in my opinion.
Yep,
but
I felt the same
definitely
way.
supposed to purposefully explain the large amount of effort he had to put out as to why he couldn't help make the save at the end. So I did get it before it happened.
I just don't like these two guys that are
they're not grunts.
Yeah, these aren't nobodies. These are guys that very well individually, one maybe not so much as the other, could be in a main title picture, and
right.
You just kind of let them like not be affected, and it's just a little too Cena-y. Old.
Oh yeah,
Cena-y
it's very
to me.
very Cena-esque.
I don't like that, especially like.
But again, it was for a specific purpose,
and it comes
see
together
that right before it happened. So Jordan's trying to quote unquote help Seth out, and they're in the corner. Finn hits a double shotgun drop kick like on the back of Jordan and into Seth. I really like that. Jordan rolls to the outside. Seth gets the coup de grace to end this match. Good match, good finish. Good brothers. Two sweets all around. Post match, Jordan and Reigns are arguing, and Jordan's trying to help Seth up. And the Good Brothers, you can see them in the background, are leaving up the ramp. But suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, out of the crowd actually, Miz and Miz Taraj come in. They slam Jordan into the barricade first, then Miz slams Seth into the ring post and the barricade as well. And they get in the ring, attack Roman. Miz hits him with the skull crushing finale, where he kind of, in a cool way, lays down like with his head up after he hits it. I thought that was kind of cool. Looked very evil.
Yeah.
Especially for something to be done like out of a match only. Would it make sense if he did that in a match? But it was cool. And
for him to
they go to leave the for Miz, right. It was very sinister. They go to leave the ring, but then Miz decides, as the crowd is chanting one more time, that instead of actually doing the skull crushing finale one more time, he wants to hit the triple power bomb, including the ooh-ah, and this is what closes the show, which totally makes sense because between the win when they first came out, hit the skull crushing finale, and then even threatened to come back, I was sitting here the whole time being like, where is that fucking Raw logo? I feel like this thing is about to end any second now. And yeah, that's why. So a good little cherry. I'm sure it's just.
I liked the end just because.
It's fuel in the fire of the big.
It is like
dude.
kind of like, kind of lame, but I think them hitting the triple power bomb is just hilarious and good.
No, not lame. I'm just saying because I didn't know where it was gonna fully cap off. I was
I know
there being
other
like, where is
opinions
that
would be like,
logo?
"Oh, this is stupid." I'm just accounting for.
I think the only thing that could be said about it critically
opinion.
is back in Survivor Series or whenever that was, they kind of already went through this.
Yeah,
thing. That's all. But whatever. I'm saying if you're looking for something to say,
yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's something you could say. I don't have that to say personally.
No, I like this right now.
We're
honestly,
finally at the end of this.
If you're gonna do this
show.
without Dean, like a shieldless Dean, if you're gonna do something, let the Miz and the Miz Taraj and this version of the Shield with Jason and Jordan go at it.
I don't think that's going to be the focus of that aspect. I think Miz Taraj is going to be Roman's burden to bear, and I think Jordan and Rollins are going to implode from within because they are defending the titles at Rumble.
Yep.
But either way, I'm with you in the.
Isn't it in? No, never mind.
What's that? You're probably thinking of the Intercontinental title on 25.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of. There's too many.
Yeah, I wonder when they're going to set the Intercontinental title for Rumble. I'm not sure, or if it will even be defended. Because again, as
maybe they haven't said it because something happens,
or maybe because Large Dog is just going to bring that thing into the Rumble so he can win it.
Anyways,
that's not the point. We're at the end of this fucking show finally.
Yep.
I'm actually not mad about. We're almost at an hour, but I'm not mad about that time because we talked about.
No,
some
that's pretty
bullshit
good considering Raw.
I gave the show an 8. It's really more of a 7, but I gave it an 8 in the sense that there's just nothing wrong with it. I felt it kind of felt like a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
In the specific ways that it furthered some stories. Just probably not only Hulu version, just in general, could have used more wrestling and quality wrestling. There was a lot of talking on this.
And the stuff they did cut out was understandably cut out, but if you just would have filled that with better situations, you probably wouldn't have had to really cut out so much wrestling.
Yeah, or you would have been maybe faced with the problem either way, and that's why it wasn't such. The focus wasn't put towards quality because there's a lot of story progressing going on.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
It definitely
I'm not, but I'm not disagreeing with you. I just speculate.
They have been keeping up the theme of continuing story, and that's what they were lacking on both shows for a little while. Months and months ago. So. They're improving.
Well, but just between the Balor Club affirmation, like that's a thing, the grappling hook, Woken Matt's further development, upon a few other things I'm sure I'm forgetting to mention right now, I just thought in those ways you can't really look at it and say it was a bad Raw. So
yeah, exactly.
If I'm being completely fair, a 7, but I personally would give it an 8 out of 10 because I thought it was a good show. So moving on to SmackDown is in Birmingham, Alabama. Show opens with the recap of everything from the main event the week before, which was good for me. I had a few things to do in the first couple minutes of SmackDown, so
I've kind of been liking the package openings just because of that factor. It doesn't get right into it because I'm normally like getting home from work, rushing, get my stuff together and whatnot, and get my notes ready.
Raw is the only one that ever bothers me, just in terms of the amount of recap type video. Like I said before, it makes me feel
3
like
hours
they think,
to fill.
I know, but it makes me feel like they think their viewer doesn't remember things that they should, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't think that's a good message to put out. Whatever. Anyways, this starts with a recap video. There is a lot going on in the storyline, so that's a good look. AJ enters, though, to open the live show. He clarifies it's a sit-down type interview with Renee, and he clarifies in said interview that he, in fact, was being sarcastic about the asking for the handicap match and assumed Daniel Bryan would see that, but talks about how he winds up taking the conversation in the direction of how he can strategize to win the match and this or that. And Renee says he's skirting the question of whether or not Daniel Bryan has been fair as of late. AJ says definitely not fair, but life isn't fair. I definitely feel that, AJ. Then he asks, when asked if Daniel Bryan's directly playing favorites, AJ says he doesn't know and isn't going to point fingers between Shane and Daniel Bryan. But then Kevin and Sammy interrupt. They cut a pretty sweet joint promo about how they're going to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. A lot of yeps in there.
Cool.
Then Shane comes out. He says he's standing by Daniel's decisions, but tonight they're going to have their own handicap match with Nakamura, Randy, and AJ against the two of them. Shane announced Shinsuke and Orton, and then actually approached a little kid and whispered something in his ear. The kid kind of popped. And it clearly was about AJ being involved, so when he announced, and the champion will be in there too, the kid pointed. It was just cool. And again, Megan happened to be watching this with me, and she said, wow, that was cool that he did that. So I love things like this about wrestling, and good move on the part of Shane McMahon in terms of a live program. And it helped close off this fucking talking segment.
Yep.
Truly finished, though, with Shane coming through the curtain to the back where he met Daniel, and says he's got Daniel says we've got a hell of a main event tonight. Gets a preview of the U.S. title tournament, and we're getting Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott tonight.
Ooh, yes.
And it's actually next. I just am writing this as
preview.
Yeah, so that was
I'm
good.
Watching the thing now.
That was a good match, Becky.
It was so good.
During Becky's entrance, she has a little filmed promo thing that pops up. She's entering herself in the Rumble. No surprise, but just cool to.
Yeah.
I like when they take the time to announce it like those kinds of ways, or however you want to put it. It was just good stuff. She says it's fitting that she's the last woman from SmackDown to enter because she'll be the last woman in the ring. Good stuff. Charlotte's music then hits, and I'm confused. But then Naomi's too, and it's making sense in terms of a numbers game. They're trying to even out against the Riot Squad, who obviously would be accompanying Ruby Riott.
It was cool. I don't know. I guess I had a little pick at. Obviously, they're gonna come out to the music. It was just a little odd that everyone.
They probably just should have said beforehand that she was gonna be with them.
I got it after the fact, but I was like, why are these people coming out? And more so, why are they getting entrances when they're just backing her? If anything, let them come out with her. It's her match. That's just.
I think it's between Charlotte being champion and Naomi having such a specific entrance. They do it. I don't have a problem with the entrances. I just think. Preface it because I definitely am with you. I was so confused at first. I was like, what is happening? So anyways, Ruby has to be held back from Becky at first. I thought that was really cool. Riot Squad's starting to really come together in their appearance as a unit.
Definitely.
Good pairing as a whole, Ruby and Becky. I think they should do a real long program between the two of them. Would be awesome. Basic stuff to start the match that worked Ruby to the outside, went to commercial. You were about to say? Go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, no, just we basically every time Ruby's had a match, we've gone to say that anyone she's against is going to be a good program, obviously because she's only faced top-tier talent, but...
and she's great.
Yeah, no,
but I actually think in its own specific way this would be good.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just goes to show like how good she is coming in. Like you could put her with any of them, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, she's fucking great. We come back from commercial, and she's got a leg lock that she's using to hold Becky while she strikes her. Just believable and good mat wrestling from Rude Riott. I like that. Becky hit a really strong series of forearms, capped it off with a big uppercut. Hit a bunch of exploder-type suplexes. They weren't exactly exploders, but it was those kind of like leg lift suplex. Looked really good and just like organic.
I like how aggressive the match was.
Yeah, it just felt like almost like a real wrestling match. Not actually, obviously, but just had that kind of flow. Ruby went for the kick and got caught in the disarmor.
It's perfect.
She tapped to give Becky the win. Yeah, it was really good. And then Naomi and Charlotte kept the squad at bay when the lock was on, which they showed in the replay. They didn't specify, but it was in the background of the replay, and I just like that basic attention to detail, but it's attention to detail nonetheless, so I like that. A quick clip is shown of Sami Zayn disguised as a fan asking Becky to be his partner in the Mixed Match Challenge. I thought that was funny. And that's an awesome team. So,
absolutely.
Holy shit,
the only thing it kind of took away from his...
he's not being heel, right? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He still had that snarkiness to him the clip they showed. I know what you mean, though. I know you're going to say that. But we come back from the commercial, and the Ascension is making their entrance, or finishing making their entrance, I should say. They show a clip from the WWE.com exclusive Fashion Files, saying that Fashion Police telling the Ascension that they can't have their backs tonight because they have their own match against Rusev Day, and kind of backing out and be like, oh well. Which I'm excited about that match going in. Definitely a comedic act, but Rusev Day and Fashion Police, that's a good. And
it seemed like the beginning to slowly separate them and let them do their thing, which they need to do.
So here comes Bludgeon Brothers. This was quick, huge, big boot. Victor is selling like a god in the beginning. Off that boot, looked really good. They beat him with the signature move we like more, but it was just clearly because Connor post-match comes to check on Victor, and they hit him with the finisher. But nonetheless, I liked him winning with the signature. I think proves my point more. He beat him on a sit-out pin. Always looks good.
Yeah, and then let him do it after if they want to tag people. Then you can.
Yeah, exactly. That should be their post-match. There you go. Hey, WWE, you don't even have to pay us. Just do that stuff. It's promoted that Gable and Benjamin are going to demand justice. That's good. Whatever it's going to end up meaning. Bobby Roode is making his entrance to take us to commercial, which again seems confusing, but ultimately not as confusing as the Charlotte random entrance, because we know he's at least in the U.S. title tournament picture. And sure enough, come back from the commercial, and Ryder is finishing his entrance because we're getting Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder right now. Seems like Mojo has a new song. Am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
I felt like it was, but I honestly won't lie. I do not pay attention enough to care.
That's exactly why I wrote that way. I'm pretty sure it's a new song. He has a slightly modified little entrance get-up thing at the top of the ramp. Still Ed and me, but, I always appreciate the effort on creative end, so whatever. Yep. Outside of a really good-looking dropkick from Ryder early in the match, Mojo pretty much dominates it. Lots of shit-talking and chokes and slams into the corner in the mat. Really short comeback from Ryder involving some basic kicks. Goes for the broski boot. Actually almost trips setting it up.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then Mojo hits him in the corner, I guess with commentary popped as if we were like this forearm was supposed to be bigger than I personally thought it looked. But I guess that's Mojo's new finish. Or maybe it was his finish and it's being just applied more aggressively now. I think that actually might be what it was. Anyways, Mojo gets the win. Slightly disappointing, but at this point, I shouldn't really expect anything else from a program involving Zack Ryder. And also good news in the way that obviously we'd like to see Zack Ryder versus Bobby Roode as a match, but Bobby should beat Mojo Rawley. And that's who's advancing. I keep
seeing stuff that they want to do some stuff with Mojo, so who knows? I'm glad you paid attention because my only note is Broski's tan is over the top.
He's very tan. My man
very
does what he can when he gets on the TV. Oh, yeah. Bobby and Mojo have a face-to-face while Bobby was at ringside and the whole time, I guess. Mojo ends up rolling out. Bobby's music hits, and he hits the glorious pose. Probably the right thing to do.
My only hope is this ends up Bobby Xavier, and we have a real badass match for.
I'm gonna guess Bobby Jinder.
That's what it's gonna be, but your boy can dream.
And on that, I'm with you. But on that note, we cut to Jinder backstage. Singh brothers with him. His flag's behind him. Basic promo with him declaring that he's officially moving on to the U.S. title as his new goal. After proving everyone wrong as world champion. And you know what? Right or wrong about that, the fact of the matter is he's an established super heel now, and we have that moving forward.
And it was a good little promo from him because he hasn't always been the exact best on the mic, so it was a good little segment from him.
It was fine. It was what it was, and I don't mind it more than I could mind it if I did it all, because I like progressive continuity, and that's what they're doing with this U.S. title tournament. So Benjamin and Gable are coming to the ring next. Gable's wearing a free the tag title shirt, so that looks good.
So good.
But I will say, we're going to get to it, and then I will say 25 years of Raw clip, Austin and the Zamboni, good stuff. Announcement that Stone Cold himself will be at Raw 25, good stuff. Clip from Facebook showing Natalya taking a selfie to end up finding out that with Nakamura photobombing said selfie, that's going to be her partner for the Mixed Match Challenge. Hey, really good team, but this clip involved Nakamura saying meow.
Yeah.
Whatever. Good team.
I think this is actually the most, I don't want to say awkward, but very different team, like, out of all of them.
It's a weird match.
This is a very
weird
mixture, sure. But it's still pretty cool.
It's going to be really, I think that's a really good team. Gable and Benjamin making their entrance, clearly upset and frustrated about not being champs. They go through the videos of last week's events. Gable going straight heel with the promo, saying that people don't know what it's like to be a winner. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Just remind me again why this isn't Kurt Angle's son. Just wondering. Yeah. Benjamin crushed it as well. Basic heel stuff, but it's good. Getting the awesome heat saying Georgia was robbed of a championship.
They got robbed like Georgia got robbed.
Yeah, it's so good stuff. Roll Tide chants come out.
Yep.
The boys do a good job responding, but not falling off track. So that was good. A few other things get said, like snitches get stitches. You don't know what it takes to be a winner, as I mentioned, and even some kind of mentioning of the word booking, which liked that. Few other very declaratively heel things until Daniel Bryan comes out.
I like how they said they lost to instant replay.
Yeah.
That was they didn't lose. They lost to instant replay or something of that nature. And
it was something like that. I can't remember what it was either. But yeah, a lot of good stuff said in this segment. Bryant comes out, slight stuttering by Shelton Benjamin, but still good. Brian explains basically to cover all bases, and it's weird that they would go this in depth with this small point, but that the ref was sent out by management and represents a decision that they stand behind. He actually semi-incorrectly recounts that the ref went back and then looked at the footage and then came back out, which it doesn't really matter, but I just thought it was interesting that happened. Shows the live television aspect. Gable gets sarcastic with Daniel Bryant, again furthering that he's definitely a heel. But at this point, I really just started to feel like good performances or not, this is really long. Like, good God, like they're in there talking for a while.
Yeah, Raw and SmackDown with a reoccurring.
But this one in particular, I kind of was prefacing mentioning this one by mentioning it earlier. This one really felt long. It all came around to Gable kind of in the vein of the same way AJ did with the handicap match, mistakenly saying, "What do you want us to beat him twice the same night?" Daniel Bryan, in the same vein, says, "That's it." And it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match at the Rumble for the tag title, SmackDown tag titles. That's a good match. So
I like the match. Here. The match is going to be amazing. I don't like the fact that most of these matches are being made off of the sarcasm thing, I guess. I
think that's very purpose.
Exactly. More so it happening like that. I realize that this is just going to be a thing and that it's done on purpose, but I don't know. But either way, the match is going to be so good.
Well, I think it's supposed to represent Daniel Bryan not being stable as a manager.
Yeah.
Like I think they say that later. So if you don't like it, then they're doing a good job.
Yeah, they're doing the job. Either way, set up a match of all matches. I mean, 2 out of 3 with them is going to be something to watch.
That's going to be a fucking clinic. Outside of the yes chant, the crowd just seems drained from how long it was. I think that people expected to see the Usos, less talking and just some kind of physicality. So I don't think I'm disappointed, but I just thought it dragged. We go to AJ talking to Orton backstage, some sarcastic face tough guy interactions, but it's good stuff. Orton says, "Trust me tonight, but no, I'm coming after that title when I win the Rumble." Nakamura walks up, says, "Not so fast," and flicks the belt and says, "Good talk."
It looked like he too sweeted the belt. but he like
it was
flicked
something
it.
like that. Yeah, probably one of the better quirky things they've had him do. But I'm still not crazy about this kind of creative direction for Nakamura. Yeah. But finally, a fucking commercial, and no
he's a weird
talking.
guy. He's not that weird.
No wrestling between the last commercial break and this one. Because we came back from the last commercial in the middle of the very short Mojo Zach match, and then, like I said, it was just a bunch of talking, the Raw recap, the talking in the ring, the backstage talking. Jesus Christ. So anyways, we come back, and it's Rusev Day versus Fashion Police. Singing intro was good this week on Aiden English's part, but doesn't have the same steam this week as past two. Not saying it's in a decline. Not saying it can't pick up just as much next week as it did the weeks prior. Just this week, less energy for this segment from the crowd.
It just goes to show, like obviously it can't. It's not going to always be, or not like you know what I mean. It happens. Yeah,
absolutely. The Rusev Rumble line was good though. That got snuck in there. Breezango had some kind of making it rain money type tag team kick, and I think that was new. I've never seen that before. Kind of weird, but cool. Come back from commercial, and Aiden English has a headlock on Tyler Breeze. Winds up hitting a super kick in the midsection. I didn't have any really too many other move-specific notes other than Rusev hitting the really big super kick on the Breeze at the end, but that led to him getting rolled up by Fandango, and that got Breezango the surprise win. So interesting booking. I'm wondering where it's going to go. I'm wondering where it's going to go, if anywhere. But I didn't see that coming.
It wasn't bad, but there wasn't really much consistency to it. Nothing really stuck out. No one really had no one had a bad match, but no one had a great match.
Yeah, like I said, I think it could just very well just be a furthering thing.
Yep.
Because we just kind of moved on from it quickly. We go to Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon backstage. Daniel's actually putting over how Breezango connects with the crowd, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Shane says they're clearly not on the same page lately, and that Daniel Bryan's judgment is irrational. He actually starts getting hot just talking about the basic plot to the current feud between AJ and Owens and Zayn and all that. He's also hot about how Daniel is making decisions without him in regards to the tag titles. He caps it off with, "Are you doing okay?" saying he's coming off a little unstable again. But again, it's clearly supposed to be like the punchline of everything he's saying. Bryan accuses him of the same, says the past shows or stands as evidence, and Shane says they're going to have to agree to disagree. And then he walks away, and just more build anticlimactic stuff between these two guys. No problems with it, but definitely wondering where this is all going.
Yeah, seriously, I am. I got
hopefully just straight up Daniel Bryan heel turn.
Yeah,
because that's what I'd like. But just buildy stuff. From there, we go to a recap of what the U.S. title tournament picture is as of right now, and we preview the SmackDown's involvement of the Rumble card. And then we're already at the main event. Worth noting, we've only been on the SmackDown show for about 20 minutes, and we're already at the end.
Yep.
I know we've mentioned this before, but goddamn, man, this Raw show it's so draggy compared to the show, and this is just as much storyline driven. So I don't know. They got to shorten that thing again.
Because SmackDown had one, like, I don't want to say squash match, but because it was important. But the Ryder Mojo match and the Ascension. Oh, there's two. Ascension Bludgeon Brothers and Ryder Mojo was very short and very. One only really prolonged or kept the story going, and that was only two matches, whereas Raw had like 4 or so that were cut out and not very important.
Yeah. I thought everything did a good job on SmackDown of furthering stories.
I thought that was the purpose. I guess more so if you wanted to lump something like from SmackDown, like something that Raw, there's really only 2 short, matches.
Right, to compare between the two. Ooh, my dog just barked. Come here, buddy. Well, yeah, anyways, it's all clearly just like filler at this point for the 5 minutes because we're going to the main event. AJ's coming out. I really didn't have anything specific about the entrances. They weren't like rushed. There's just like 5 guys to get to, and normally they're in bigger match situations or whatever you want to call it. This match, I again didn't have like move specific notes for because it was clearly with the false finish it had or first finish that it had. With it ended in DQ. Owens attacked everybody with a chair and attempted to walk out with Zayn. Shane's music hits, and he comes out waving his finger, falling out of a helicopter at the same time, and announces that the match is going to restart with no count-out or DQ. And it actually is pretty cool because it leads to AJ smacking them around with the chair a few times.
Immediately, it just goes right at him.
Yeah, right away. Randy hits his backdrop spot on Zayn on the table, and it leads to Shinsuke with the Shinkasa in the ring. And an RKO by Randy, all on Sami, or on Sami Zayn, which gets him the win. Do you have anything like between like all the stuff I jumped over? Because I just didn't.
Randy throwing Sami on the table was absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, I said that. Yeah, his backdrop on the table. Yeah, it was.
But
it was
besides
crazy.
that, honestly, no. I was so
no, because exactly. Yeah,
I was actually the match wasn't very. I don't want to say it wasn't good, but I was
it was just getting to what it was. Everything we just.
I
talked
was paying
about.
attention more to the fact that like. This was like 2 or 3 times where they tried to get themselves out of the match, and then Shane comes out and changes the whole thing. I was just more sucked into that part of it.
Yeah, like I said, that was clearly the actual point of what was going on. So I like that it took the amount that it did. I know they were just beating his ass, but I like that it took the amount that it did to pin Sami Zayn. I thought that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
I gave this show about a 7 out of 10. Again, in a personal way, for liking Sami and Kevin being the main picture, I'd give it an 8, but realistically it was about a 7. Just a lot of the same stuff and not super interesting, but not a bad show by any means.
Yeah, they both were relatively even with what they did have and what they did lack.
Right. But I am going to, they both have me watching for next week, so good
Which
job
they,
on that
for
way,
a while, did.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes they just don't. Before we preview our normal Ring of Honor and NXT stuff and cap the show off, we are going to quickly touch on the Mixed Match Challenge. I have some specifics for it in front of me. It's debuting on January 16th, so that's under a week from now. Based off of the pairing of the teams, it seems like a kind of random, like separate, not exact. Obviously, it's all in the world of WWE in the same universe, but it just seems like there's going to have separate booking styles to it between heels and faces getting booked together, and just the randomness of it. The winning team gets $100,000 to donate to the charity of their choice.
That's cool.
Yeah, it could be cool. Hopefully, it's not going to end up being.
I like it just because
I think it's going to be cool.
Aside from obviously WWE probably never ever doing like things outside of it, but it does feel like how New Japan does the tournaments. It vaguely feels like that.
Well,
because you
and
get outside of the main picture, but you still get to watch these people.
Well,
wrestle.
I mean, dude, this is also like their own thing because this is on Facebook Live, and that's
pretty big.
It's only 20 minutes, not asking for that much of your time. You could watch it on your phone. Excuse me, just burped. We're gonna go through the brackets real quick, which were just released, and just I guess actually in that way we'll go through the team announcements
teams as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first week and after the opening ceremonies, the inaugural match for the Facebook Watch exclusive show is going to be Balor and Banks, which is one team, versus Nakamura and Natalya, and that one's gonna be. It's got to be a good match. How could it not?
My only thing is you kind of get. Well, I guess now you're getting a little taste of something that you like. That's pretty big with Balor and Nakamura.
Yeah, I mean that's
massive. So for you to get the first taste of it there, that says something.
And I mean Sasha Banks and Natalya can work together too.
That too, but I'm not trying to discredit them, but just more so like that's a pretty big thing for you to get a taste of for a Mixed Match Challenge on Facebook. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
So that's going to be good. That's the first week.
And
the
cool
second
teams.
week is that's more of what I'm saying. The teams are great, so it's got to be a good match. The second week is teaming of Miz and Asuka versus Big E and Carmella. It was online poll who's going to be Carmella's partner, who in the New Day. I thought that was cool. Cool way to mix it around.
Yeah, and
of course,
Big E makes sense.
It's great. Always great. So that's going to be the second week. Between those 4 teams I just mentioned, the two winners between the 2 matchups, they'll face each other in the 7th week. Week 3, we've got Strowman and Bliss. That's a good team.
Oh yeah.
Going against Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch. It's a great team.
Oh yeah. That'll be interesting too, just because of all the size differences with everybody. Oh yeah, big time. And for anyone fearing, in this case especially, where those are 2 really great teams paired up, that anyone who's getting eliminated is permanently fucked, for lack of a better word, there is a second chance thing, which I'll get to. It comes in a later round. That sounds really cool. But anyways, that's the 3rd week, Strowman Bliss versus Zayn and Lynch. 4th week, we got Goldust and Alicia Fox. It's versus
one of the Usos and Naomi, which is a good team. I just don't want to say which one it is. I can't remember at the moment right now. Yeah. It's either Jimmy and Jay, or obviously it's either Jimmy or Jay, but I'm saying it's Jimmy. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy. I went to say it's either Jimmy and Naomi or Jay and Naomi, but obviously.
Okay, yeah.
It's Jimmy. And I assume they'll beat the team of Goldust and Fox. But anyways, week 5 is Elias and Bailey. Again, online vote situation. Apparently, because, tying back to the beginning of the episode, Joe was going to be Bailey's opponent based off the online vote. But then they said on Twitter that due to injury, he won't be. So, again, we'll see. Hopefully it's minor enough that this isn't keeping him out of the rest of the
maybe they're just doing this so he doesn't continue to...
Yeah, because he won the vote. I don't know.
This is something he can stay out of and... keep him healthy.
However, they are facing the pretty cool pairing of Rusev and Lana. Obviously, Lana's no in-ring worker, but love Rusev, and they're they have to have organic chemistry being together. So, and having seen them succeed in the entertainment aspect before. So, the final weekend pairings are Apollo Crews and Nia Jax, which I personally like. I think that's a cool pairing.
I like that.
And then one of the best ones in the tournament, Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair.
Oh man!
And then matching robes, get up already, the red and gold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So to go over the structure real quick, it's each week is one of these matches. The winners of weeks 1 and 2 will face off in 7. The winners of weeks 3 and 4 will face off in 8, and the winners of weeks 5 and 6 will face off in 9. So pretty much after 6, it's like a first playoff round type situation.
Yeah. Very complex for WWE.
Whoever wins 7 and 8 goes to 10, and let's see how this works. Whoever wins 7, 1 goes to 10. Whoever wins 8, 1 goes to 10. I see. Whoever wins 9, 1 goes to 11, and in 10 and 11, it's whoever wins 7 and 8 and 10. But then in 11, the second opponent for the winner of week 9 is determined by a second chance fan vote. So in the second to last round, and you can look up this bracket online if I'm confusing you at all, but in the second to last round, one of the teams that has previously been eliminated can be brought back, and I personally see potential there for a team like Zayn and Lynch, who are more than likely probably going to lose, someone like Strowman and Bliss, or maybe vice versa. I just feel like those are one of the teams that definitely make a comeback.
Insane.
If not, the Balor Banks, Shinsuke and Natalya, one of those two teams could maybe make the comeback there. So then it's all coming down to the winners, the last 2 teams in the 12th week, a whole 3-month program. It should be really cool. Yeah. Looking forward to. Like I said, look up the bracket if you're confused, but it's basically starting out with how many? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Just 6 weeks times 2. Starting out with 12 teams, and then getting it down to 6, and then getting it down to 4, and then getting it down to the final 2. So it's a lot less more complicated than I made it sound, but it's going to be awesome. And I'm definitely looking forward to them just looking at different ways to release things and whatnot. So moving on to the normal preview stuff, and then we will cap off this episode. I don't think we mentioned, maybe we did, I can't remember, beginning of this episode, we got a Joe song on this episode.
Oh,
it's a
do
track.
We ever?
It is a track. Joe provided us with a track.
More excited for you to hear something.
I was a little bit more excited than about the track than for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
This week, which has some really cool stuff. It's pretty much the first official episode of the new year. We've got some Dalton Castle stuff. We've got some TV title stuff. Simon Grimm is wrestling on the show. The Briscoes are wrestling on the show. Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon is your main event, and they actually have a decently long match, so make sure you catch Ring of Honor. Something that I think we should also touch on, because we include Ring of Honor in like the Monday group review, that's when it's shown on Fight TV.
Yeah.
It's actually shown week to week on Saturdays.
Really?
So it's just more fitting that we do it a weekend anyways. We're just always technically a week behind.
That's okay.
But I know that because when I lived in Tallahassee, Florida, I obscurely got the cable network that it was shown on, so I was able to watch it.
I remember that. I used to be really jealous of that.
Yeah, it was cool, but it was weird to keep up with because it was still at a later time. And anyways, just something I didn't want anyone to think that we didn't know that or something like that. NXT, I haven't watched yet, and I don't want to read reviews or previews for it because I think it was pretty impactful. So I'm just going to go with what I organically can preview. I know Adam Cole is doing something pretty special on this episode. I believe Undisputed Era as a whole does something pretty special with Sanity
lately.
Yeah, so definitely check out NXT this week. We'll find out this weekend what exactly happened. But I'd say this was pretty good, another good week for wrestling television, and it always starts to get really hot around this time of year.
Yeah.
But I just hope that if we know that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is going to be the main event of our WrestleMania season this year, and we just had Wrestle Kingdom and it was awesome. I just hope that everything else in between is as surprising as this Balor Club reunion or Castle beating Cody. I just want these next couple months of wrestling to be super interesting.
That for me solidifies that stuff is coming. You know what I mean?
Cool
like if they can
happen,
finally get that going. Something that you really want to see, and more so, like I didn't see that coming. Really, I thought that was going to be. I thought that was going to be years out.
It was like my wildest dreams type thing coming around.
So,
we skipped. I just realized we skipped 205, but you know what? It's really okay because I haven't watched it, and rather than ask you to skim us through it, I'm just saying I have no idea what happened, and I don't want to have no opinion.
Honestly, so same stuff. So no
we'll include it in the weekend show. Though we'll touch on it on the opening. But yeah, I just expect a lot out of these next couple months, and I'm happy with these couple weeks as far as build weeks goes.
And let's be real. If you really want to look at it as a competition, you got a lot to keep up with.
Right, because of the Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, because with the exactly, and more so from what I'm hearing and seeing, like Jericho's going
to stay over there.
He's going to stay.
Keep the program with Naito. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good way to tie it all up too. Kenny Omega's on Jericho's podcast.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been
they apparently talk about the Wrestle Kingdom match. I got to check it out. Haven't checked it out myself.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to promote it because it's got to be great. But yeah, this was good. A good week of television.
I liked it. I liked how everything progressed, and
here's to hoping it continues.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening, people. Enjoy Joe taking us home.
Please enjoy it as much as I do.
And we will talk to you later this weekend. Good night and goodbye.
Bang.